D.O.A, A Rite of Passage, is a documentary all about the punk movement of the 1970s, particularly focusing on the Sex Pistols as well as various other bands throughout their iconic tour in America in 1978, where they pretty much caused up arms wherever they went. There was people always picketing or protesting as they kind of warped, or so the people said, the youth, as they were trying to give the world a shake-up into something that, you know, reserved people rather than just sheep. I wasn't too familiar with the punk movement. It was before my time. It's something I haven't really delved into much, so checking out this documentary was an insightful way to check into this period in time. It seems to be a period of disillusionment in young Britain, where most of the punk movement kind of started, as people tried to struggle with their identity, wear outlandish clothes, behave unruly, had no idea of what their future was going to be, but they were fine with that. They revelled in that. That was a badge of honour, being unable to care, to show that they didn't like anything, they didn't care about anything. They wanted to be in your face, aggressive. They want to let you know that they're there and they just don't care. And it really comes across with the way the focus is on lots of people attending these gigs, the way they're dressed, their behaviour, their mannerisms, what they are saying, they're wanting to belong in something and not quite fitting in wherever they were. And then you really get this punctuated by these people being affected by the music, by the musicians themselves. Now, this movie primarily focuses on the Sex Pistols by showing several of their gigs, particularly focusing on a song. Sometimes it'll have the lyrics up on screen as the full song plays out. It lets it sort of sink into you how ferocious these gigs were, how manic the performers were, how sort of raw the music was, and how the energy in the rooms, you could just almost feel even watching it on this Blu Ray. But it doesn't just focus on the Sex Pistols, it focuses on other things as well. There is Terry and the Idiots, this punk band that you've never heard of that just pretty much play in pubs. It was a small band in the mid-70s, but we focus on various other bands as well, like Dead Boys, Generation X, Rich Kids, X-Ray Specs, Sham 69. It's got music from The Clash and Iggy Pop. It has just perpetrated. This is a movie, a documentary that is all about a time, a place, how people felt. And one of the things that just really got to me while I was watching this was the musicians and how they spoke. There is a couple of interviews with Sid Vicious and his wife, his girlfriend Nancy, and you can quite clearly see that they're just not with it. They are just off their heads on whatever they're on, and they're dozing off during an interview. They just look as if they're bumbling through life. It looks as if they don't really have a coherent thought in their head, but they're at the spearhead of this movement. You know, they are getting this almost army behind them of the modern youth and shaping what the world is going to be for the next so many years. And they can't even string two words together. They can't stay awake long enough to answer a question before dozing off. It's just a weird kind of juxtaposition behind this movement and the almost careless attitude of the people at the head of it. The music all the way through the movie, some was familiar, some wasn't, but it was all very interesting, very nice to hear, especially some of the songs that had the lyrics up on the screen so you could really pinpoint what these people were trying to say, and it really comes across in the filmmaking. I love the sort of outside of the venues talking to the various people that were there to picket, people that were there to support, people that were there to experience something new, and they all give sort of like insightful little snippets into why they're there and what they thought of this movement, what they thought of the band, and it's really quite interesting. The disc itself has one notable extra that has to be mentioned. It's a documentary. It's Dead and Alive, the punk documentary that almost never was, and this is an hour and 50 minutes into the making of this documentary, and it's packed. It's longer than the actual feature. It is really well put together. It's got lots of insightful information, lots of interviews with various people, and just giving you some amazing insight into the actual making of the main feature. It's got another feature as well, which is D.O.A, a punk post-mortem, which is quite interesting, a little bit shorter than the other features on this, and it has a booklet with the first 2,000 copies. It's an interesting pickup. If you're curious at all about the punk movement, or if it's something that you are curious about checking out, or you were there and you want to relive that time, this is an excellent pickup. This is something that's going to give you a lot of information, but also give you a flavour of the time and the music and the feelings that were going on then. For me, it was quite insightful. I enjoyed it, and I think I could definitely say pick it up if you're interested in this type of thing. I'd love to know your opinion of the movie. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man vs. Film.